Okay guys, so welcome to the Codeforces education round 19 C problem pluses and minus. So this was also kind of like prefix sum array problem. So what we need to do is we were given a piece of code and we need to figure out the value of result. So but the constraints were pretty high, so it was like 10 raised to 6. So, and these were two for loops. So means we cannot just calculate rest value because it will get TL time limit exceed. It will time will exceed for that. So we need to get into some better solution for that and reduce this time complexity to O of n, or O of n log n might work too. So what the problem was that if my string consists of plus, so let's see. Okay, so I got, let's say this. So I got minus and plus and minus, and it's not able to see properly. Okay, just a second. Pencil. So minus plus and minus. So what we got is a string, and if the string we are starting from an init position, that is from 0 to infinity. INF means infinity, and we are starting from init position. We will first make an true statement, and if any times if it is less than 0, it will be false, and we will break out of the loop. And there might be a condition where it will never be false, it will always be true. So at that position we will break out of the outer loop even. So as per the problem, so let's start with this here. So if it is minus, so that means 0 minus 1 is minus 1. So current is less than 0. So will be false and it will break out of the loop. Then we start with the init is equal to 1. So we again go in the for loop. We check if it is negative. Yeah, it is negative. So 1 minus 1 is 0, but it is not less than 0. It is equal to 0. So we still run the loop and we check again for the next position, that is this position, and at this time it is again minus. So current is 0 minus 1 minus 1. So it is less than 0 and it will be false and it will break out of the loop. Now a similar procedure follows for the whole string. So if any time current is positive, that means we don't break out of the inner loop and we process whole inner loop, then current then will always be true. So we will break out of the loop. So how are we going to do this problem? So the problem was like we need to do some prefix sum array problem. So we will start from the current position. We will check if it is negative. If it is negative, we will store a variable for how many negative count and how many positive count. Now we got one negative count, so we start with this. Then we got another negative count. We start with here. Now at this position, we got one positive count. So that means we store the value as here. And anytime when it is like less than particular our minimum, so we start our minimum with 0, and now it is 2 minus 1 is 1, so it's not less than minimum. Now after that we process here. Now that means it is a negative, so we increase the variable to 3, and 3 minus 1 is just a second. After processing this, so it will be 1 and it will be 1, it becomes equals to 0. Okay, so now it becomes equals to 0, but it is not less than 0. And as we go to the end of the loop, so if it still equals to 0, so we will store as n as the answer. So if we look at the code, we will understand it better. So let's start with the s.length, and we will start with the resultant variable, and current is equal to 0. And as I stated, mn is the minimum which we need. So we will start with the current element. So if s of I is plus, so we will plus our, that means we got our one one s of I. After that we again go for another character, and if it is negative, so we will minus minus. That means like how many prefix we got. Let's say here I got one negative, then two negative, then one positive. That means we got up to here. Yeah. So now at this time, there will be a time when current will be less than minimum. So whenever the current will be less than minimum, that will be we will set our minimum to at that position, and we will store our store our resultant variable here. So let me take another example, because this example is like very much bold. So yeah, negative, negative, negative. That's similar. So let's see. Yeah. So let's start with negative, negative, and negative. Now we start with a variable. Let's say C only. Now how many? We got one negative, and the index position is 0, 1, 2. So that means we got 0. We got one negative. So we will decrease the count to -1, because it's starting from 0. Okay, so we decreased it to -1, and we got our minimum variable 2, so which is 0. Now as it is less than negative, so we will store the resultant to be 1, because index plus 1. After that we go further, we check again, it is negative, so we will again say -2. And as our previous character, as our previous C was -1, now again it is less than -1, so we'll store +2. Now minimum will be 2. Again if we check, it is again less than, means it is minus, so it will again be -3, and it is less than our minimum, so index plus 1. So 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 6. Okay. So that was our answer, and as you can see, we simply check that, means if it is positive, we increase our current length, and if it is negative, we decrease our current length, and if it is less than our minimum position, we store the index plus 1 values. So I guess the application to hold this to this problem was, you need to check what is a prefix sum array, and the next D problem is also similar to that only, like cadence algorithm. We apply there to, like, prefix sum array only we apply. So make sure to check that application. And so okay, like, share and subscribe, guys. Cheers.